What's up, guys? Welcome to Spin City Podcast, your all-access pass to the world of professional table tennis. My name is Ibrahima Diaw, and today I'm hosting this show with mi hermanos, Marcos Madrid. What's up, Marcos?
Hey, hello everyone. Hello Iba. Thank you. We are very happy to be here. Of course, we invite you to subscribe to Spin City in YouTube, in Instagram and TikTok. So we are very happy to have a special guest from Latin America. So I let you introduce Iba to this big legend that is here with us.
Man, definitely. We have a living legend here, from Brazil. One of the players that actually opened the door for the Latin American players in Europe. 3 times Olympians, best world ranking number 30. He dominated the Latin American circuit in the 2000s with multiple American championships in single, doubles and teams, multiple Brazilian championship. Make some noise for the jefe, Thiago Monteiro.
Hey guys, thanks for this nice presentation. If you're not my friends, I would believe you more. But anyway, I'm happy for your kind words and it's fun to be here. I know you're doing a great job on promoting table tennis, both of you. So, I'm from another generation, so I'm not so much into this new social media, new ways of communication. But I know you're doing a great job, so I congratulate you for this. And it's a pleasure to share a little bit of my experience. You actually know me very well, both of you. So you know that if you are among friends in everyday life, I'm a very different person than you people can realize in interviews, because in interviews I don't talk so much. Let's see if
now is the moment.
Now is the moment. Exactly.
That hope that the fact that we are the 3 of us here talking among friends will make me say maybe a little bit more than I should.
Yeah.
Man, we are open for this. I mean, thank you for the kind words. To be honest, it's very nice to have this word from you. And of course, we want to promote the players and the coaches and basically also our sport. And actually, now you are doing both. So this is actually nice to have you here. And then we can actually talk a little bit about your experience and actually your transition between your experience and your transition to coach. So yes, we are very happy to have you here. But yes, let's talk first of all about how you discovered the sport.
I discovered the sport, since my first memories as a kid. I had always a table tennis racket in my hand, and soccer, football, ball in my feet. My father being a player of both sports, so made it very easy for me to be an athlete. Had always his support, and I always liked. It was not something that I was never forced to do sports. So for me, it was always fun. I wanted to spend time with my father, and then the sports bring us together even more with football or with table tennis. So it was very natural beginning for me. My father had the racket. I would play with his racket, trying to control the ball, and then playing against the wall. And I remember being very, very young, 5 years old. He left for work and he said, "Okay, try to control the ball with your racket for 50 times." And I always wanted to do more to make him proud of me. It was not an effort. I could stay really for long hours doing this. So I say that I'm very, very lucky that sports was in my life very early. I have really zero memory of me not doing sports. I was always riding a bike, running with my neighbors, or playing football. Was always involved in sports.
Great. So let's say your family and also your cousins, everyone was making sport. Also, I think Brazil is a country that the culture, everyone likes sports. So maybe this also was helping on this, I suppose. And how big was table tennis when you start?
Okay, this is it was much different back then. We are talking about, I was born in 81. And I started to play around 86. So 86, 87.
I was born in 86, so it's a good year.
So it's kind of totally different than now. especially at this particular moment that we are talking, because the biggest result of Brazilian table tennis just happened a week ago. But at the time, it was small sports. Football was always the biggest sport in my country, and it will always be, I think. Table tennis was not really much a popular sport, especially in my region, because most of table tennis in Brazil is in São Paulo, in the state of São Paulo, and my hometown Fortaleza is very far. This said, I was very, very lucky that I was born in this good moment of the table tennis in my city. I was born like in one of the best moments, because there were many good players growing up, and I was really young, and there were a lot of different playing styles. People that play like chopper, with pimples, with anti-spin, right-handed, left-handed, pen holders, good servers. There was always opponents with my age, older. So for example, if you started to play well as a kid and you played against an older guy in the club, of course he was going to like trick you, because technically he cannot beat you, and then he wants to be more clever, and there's always some strategy to accelerate the game or to steal some points. When I say steal, it's not in a bad way, like a smart way. So I like to say that I was really lucky that the environment helped me very much to be a good table tennis player.
And at what time did you say that, okay, this is really the thing that I want to do and I want to become a professional?
Okay, there are some moments on the way. I started then, I was around 5. My first competition, I was around 7, but no kids of my age. I had to play like against, I was 7, 8 years old, and I played against kids 12 years old. It's a big difference at this age. Like if we play now with this difference of age, is not so much, but at this moment was big difference. So I was learning and improving, really losing, but I was very, very disappointed when I lost, but in a good way. Like, I mean, if I lost, I was very angry. And the next day, I was ready very early to go to practice. I didn't want that to happen again. So I was always ready to go again and try again. So I started to feel that I had on me some qualities that could make a good athlete, because I was good in competition. I didn't like to lose, and I was learning fast, like from every situation, even when it was about technique. When I learned something new, I kind of learn fast. And if I didn't learn fast, I was angry about this. So I wanted to repeat a lot so I could learn. So there were some qualities that I felt I had on me. And then it was very natural. I was doing other sports growing up, like playing futsal in Brazil, because when we are young, we start in futsal. And I played both sports in clubs and played the leagues. I was practicing swimming, because my home country, Fortaleza, is by the sea. So the parents, they take a lot of care how you behave on the water. For swimming pool, it's always a good weather, so people go to the water a lot. So I was doing swimming. And the first moment that I felt that I wanted to be pro was when I started to win some competitions, like under 10, under 11. But then I watched the games of Barcelona in 92. I was 11 years old. And I had already at that time a good level for my age and among my region in Brazil. So I said, okay, one day I want to be there. And then after that, this was the first moment. I said, one day I will be Olympian. At the time, I was still playing futsal, and slowly I decided to let all the other sports aside so I could focus on table tennis. This was the first moment that I really believed I could be professional. And then the second important moment was when in 93, me and 2 of my friends, we won Brazilian championships, the teams, under 12 against São Paulo, which was back then very difficult to do. The kids the opponents were really strong, and not a lot of people from our region was winning. I mean, you could eventually, if you are really good, get a medal, but never winning. So we won. So there was a moment that, okay, maybe we have something to play here. And then the other decisive moment was when I won the South American championships in single as a cadet in 95. Was my first international competition outside Brazil. And then I won in singles. I won in teams too with Brazil. I was finalist in mixed double and in doubles. But as I won in singles, that made me really believe. And I said, okay, we have something to play here. That there were the three moments
Key moments, yeah.
that make me believe and want to be professional.
And all this time you were practicing living in Fortaleza, or you had to move to a center, or they have a national team center in Brazil or somewhere?
No, I until 95 I was living in Fortaleza. Eventually we go to south of Brazil, in the state of São Paulo, in some training center or some training camps during my vacation, my school vacation, with other kids from my city. But I was still living in Fortaleza with my parents. Very early, at this age, like 14, when I won this South American Cadets Championship, I was already among the best seniors in the city, in the state, or even in the region, northeast of Brazil. In 97, January of 97, I was 15 to 16. I moved to Piracicaba, in state of São Paulo. Marcos knows, he's been there practicing in training center. So there was another big step for me in my career. I was 15 to 16 because I'm from June. So when I moved there in the beginning of 97, I was still 15 years old.
Okay.
How many years in Piracicaba?
Well, in Piracicaba, I finished my studies. Then I studied 97 and 98. And with my family, when I finished my high school, I decided not to do the exams to go to the university because I wanted to focus more on table tennis. So I decided to give me some time to see how, like, to try to be professional. And that was in 99. And some important competition at this time, the Pan American Championships in Winnipeg in Canada, World Championships that I qualified. I was 18 years old. And there was the Olympic Games in Sydney. That was a goal, but I missed the qualification. I didn't qualify. That was one of the biggest disappointment in my career at that moment. But because I wanted to be an Olympian, so I kept fighting, until make it come true in Athens in 2004.
So 4 years after.
Yeah, then till 98 I was in school. 99 I took this year off to just dedicate to table tennis. And in September, October, I came to my first season in Europe, in Islov, that Iba knows very well now.
Yes.
It was my first club in Europe. They opened the door for me in Europe. I'm very grateful to them. You have to put it in the context. For me, as a Brazilian growing up, I grew up as a player during the moment that the Swedes dominate table tennis.
Yep.
There was this great generation with Waldner, Persson, Appelgren, even other guys like Chicken Carlson back then.
Yep.
That is someone that I have a good contact nowadays, which is fun. And then Peter Carlson came after. But watching them growing up was like, for me, playing in Sweden again and seeing them more often was like really
Big motivation, yeah.
something really big. Like I didn't feel indifferent to their presence. I watched them playing, and all of a sudden I was playing in their country, and it's sort of mythical for me at that moment.
And how the move happened? Like, why did you decide? I mean, I guess you just explained like you moved there because you know there at that time Sweden was definitely dominating the world. But how did this move happen? How did had a big impact for you? You know, as a Brazilian, young Brazilian, going away from your family, one of the first. You know, like how everything happened.
Well, at this age, like 17, 18 years old, I was already among the best seniors in Brazil. I was making the national team already in senior. Of course, I was not like yet a very solid national team. I was gaining my position because since 98, I started to go very often to every important competition. Okay. And until then, I just missed the qualification to the Olympic qualification.
How was this? You miss because in the team or because in the Olympic qualification?
No, I missed in Brazil the qualification
In
to
Brazil.
Olympic
Okay, in Brazil.
qualification.
Okay.
Because at that time in Brazil, for every place in national team, you had to play the qualification. Doesn't matter your level or your age or nothing. You had to play qualification. You had to win. So I won to the World Championships in '99. I won to the Pan American Games in '99. But then I missed the one to the Olympic qualification.
Okay, so all the time that you had a big tournament, you had to play a qualification in Brazil.
Yeah.
Can we know against which player you lose?
I don't remember the player that I lost the last match. I believe it was to my friend Hugo Hanashiro. That I lost. We are from the same generation, so we are like rivals and friends since this first Brazilian Championships in '93. We played against them in final. When I was South American Championships in singles, this one that I just told you, it was against him in final. I lost Brazilian Championships against him. I won Brazilian Championships against him as junior.
Okay.
We always playing against each other the big competitions. So I think I lost against him this match, and my chances were like
gone.
I didn't qualify.
And he qualified to Olympics?
No, he lost it also. He lost it also because Hugo Yama was number one at the time.
Yeah.
And he was already qualified. So we can take one more player to Olympic qualification. At this time, I was technically virtually number two. My international results and my level in Brazil, because I won every other qualification. I just lost this one. Maybe I wanted too much, and then I put myself under pressure. I perform a little bit worse than the others. And I have to say that also was a big, strategical mistake, because I was in Brazil practicing in Piracicaba. I had a good follow-up from the coaches. And in September, I came to Europe. And the qualification was in November. So I was like 2 months in Europe, having to adapt with a different training methods. And it was not a good strategy for this competition. What my coaches at the time said, that there was a good opportunity to play in Europe, that I had to take it, and that I would be like, I had time to qualify to Olympics. So I did this. I regret a lot this decision, because I wanted to qualify already in 2000. I was 19 years old. And I had the level, I was good enough. So I'm pretty sure that if I had stayed in Brazil, doing the same program I was doing, focused the way I was doing, I would qualify. And coming to Sweden, even if it was a great experience, for that specific situation was not a good strategy.
Okay.
So I have this on me, that was a learning experience, like a mistake. There's no other name for this. Lucky enough, I could make it, and Hanashiro made it too. So we both qualified to our first Olympics together. He played doubles with Oyama. I played singles.
Okay.
Yeah, we were playing like careers because I beat him in the Olympic qualification final to qualify to Athens. I beat him in the final. So it's also a story that is worth telling, because we play against each other since we are 12 years old. We had always good relationship. We were, I think, South American champions in doubles, also in teams many times, and we were fighting for the first places in every competition we played in our generation. And what happened was that at that time, the Olympic qualification happened in Chile, and we can qualify only 2 players by country.
This was the first time, right, that they put these rules?
In Athens. So there were six places, but only 2 by country can qualify. And 3 by country can play the qualification, but only 2 can qualify. So I remember like it was yesterday, because when they made the draw, I came to the side of Hanashiro, and to the other side was Liu Song and Hugo Yama.
Okay.
And we were even at 3-3 in sets, me and Hanashiro, and Oyama beat Liu Song to qualify. So we just saw the end of this match. Oyama qualified to Athens. And then me and Hanashiro, we are 3-3 and we start to play the last set. And of course, the one who loses don't play single. So it was a very, very like tense moment, but I finally made it. I won. I was in a better shape at this moment. I was a better player than him, little bit better. But every time I played, it was really 50-50. And I'm not saying this to be humble. I'm saying this because it was true. Even if I started to have a little bit better international results than him, still, I have the feeling that even today, he stopped to play for 20 years, maybe. If we play now, it's 50-50. Yeah, I have this feeling. And then I won, like I was crying a lot, hugging him, and there was we grew up together, so we knew that it's so important for both of us. And finally, he also played the Olympics in doubles.
In doubles,
so
yes.
at the end, we all played the Olympics.
Yes. Okay. And you said that you missed your first Olympics because you moved to Sweden, and it was like maybe not the best preparation, for Sydney. And how was the practice in Sweden when you arrived? And did it help you become a better player and improve and qualify for Athens?
The practice was fantastic for me. The players were better than
who
me.
was the player? The players there at the time?
The players at that time was Mikael Zugling, Matthias Andersson, that is still
Yes, he's
in the family that takes care of the club. Mikael Mathiasson and Matthias Stenberg. They were all really good players and very helpful. The training was really strong for me. It was very good. But because of I had to adapt to a new country, I was just one more player there. So the coach also was really, really good. One of the best I have ever knew, Mr. Diaw, Chinese. It was fantastic. Just that at that moment, if I had stayed in Brazil with my not comfort zone, but in an environment that I felt more confident, maybe I would have I qualified to all other trials that we had that year. So it's the only thing I did different was to move to Sweden, and that was a mistake. I remember I was not very calm with this decision. Okay. It is also important to say when I took the decision, I accept the advice and I took the chance. I went. I practiced hard. I did what I was doing. But at any moment, that didn't bring me any calmness. I think, okay, this is a mistake. Okay. Then I played the qualification with this feeling.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I can understand, especially when you don't mentally feel prepared for a big event like this. It's not easy to...
So I would say that if you put yourself, even if the practice was better with better players than I had in Brazil, much better players, where coach was really good doing multi-balls and stuff. But yet, if you don't believe in what you are doing, you still. When I played this qualification these years, when I played the first, I remember for the World Championships in '99 that I qualified, and then I started to play really well after that. I had this feeling that I could not lose any qualification, that I was always going to win. I knew it was tough, but every time it was hard, I felt really strong. And when I came to Sweden, I said, okay, I'm not sure about this decision, and that somehow kept working in my mind, and I played below my means.
Yeah. No, this is definitely one of the worst feelings. It's when you feel like this is tough. But you managed to. How was the practice there? Like you practiced there until Athens?
You mean
in Eslöv in Sweden?
In Eslöv, no. I played in Eslöv just for this season.
Okay.
The first season, you have to say that Eslöv was in Elite Syrian. I don't know if it's called the same today.
Tingisligan.
Yeah. So it was Elite Syrian. It was called at the time the highest league in Sweden, and I felt that it was too strong for me.
Okay.
I said, okay, I need to play with good players, but not this strong because it's at that time a big difference of level. So I spoke with my friend and one of my teammates, Mikael Mathiasson, that helped me to find another club in Sweden, in Borås, Mariedals. And then he put me in relation with this club. And I moved there because I needed to play in my level little bit above. And that was up to today one of the best seasons of my career. I won 18 out of 21 matches.
Okay.
And it was really players of my level. Like I was not, because it's easy if you say, okay, I win 18 and lost only 3 matches.
Yeah.
But if I am much better than the others, that doesn't mean much. But at this time, it was really my level. The matches I won, some were very close, and but I built my confidence after this. It was very important season for me, really important season for me.
Okay.
To play in my level or a little bit better, then push me, and it was a really good season because also in Borås, living in Borås, we are near Gothenburg, a little bit more to central part of Sweden.
Okay.
Also, because of my teammates had the same level and ranking of mine, when we go to tournaments, that's a lot in Sweden, we go in the same dates. And many times when I played in Eslov, because my colleagues were better than me, had a better ranking, they already started in the main draw. So I had to go, I couldn't go before to play the groups. So this also was something that was better. I started to play some good tournaments in Sweden, and Sweden is fantastic for, I think, for Brazilians and for Latin American players, because I think it's the country that has the similar way of thinking when we talk about playing. Okay, I'm not talking about the society or about the people. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the playing mentality. Because us Latin Americans, we are first players and then we are athletes. We like the game. We like to play.
That's correct, yes.
And in Sweden, they are like this too. They like to have fun when they practice. They like to try new things. And as Brazilians, we are very similar on this. We had big influence from the Japanese colony in table tennis in Brazil. So they were more about discipline, this philosophy. But as born Brazilians, without this influence, we are more about game. We are more game players, and then Sweden is the best place for us.
Yeah, that's correct. But you can actually see with Truls the way that he's playing and how creative he's playing is because actually they just let the players develop the way that they are, and they make their strength like this. I strongly believe that if it was actually in other countries, they would probably not accept Truls the way that he is because he's holding his racket this way, or maybe Matthias Falk because he has the pimples and no one knows. So they actually let the players develop themselves. So that's
I'm
correct.
100% sure of that. To me, up to this day, when people ask me, I said, where you should send the players, because we am in France. Marcos played in France. You are from France too, and the league is more solid financially, and you can make living. Sweden somehow, I don't know how it is now, but
It's tough now.
it's tough. So we kind of find other clubs in other countries and stuff. But I would say that technically speaking, I'm only talking about technically and playing mentality. Sweden is the best country for Latin America. By far. Really, without disrespect, because I'm French now too. I have the nationality. I made my life in France. And of course, there is Germany. But I think because of the playing style, it's the best country for us.
Perhaps you didn't say nothing about the girls in Sweden, but we can.
You can understand, eh?
We can understand why it's the best country.
No, unfortunately, I can tell you this. Unfortunately, at that time, I was only focused on table tennis. Only if, but I don't complain.
Okay.
And when you qualified for Athens, you were still living in Sweden?
No, when I qualified in Athens, okay, I played in Sweden only these 2 years.
2 years, okay.
2 years,
99 to 2000 in Eslov, 2000 to 2001 in Borås, playing for Maria Diaw. And then I moved to Argentina. In 2001, Argentina just moved up to, it was National 1 to Super Division.
Super Division,
and then correct. I came to play for Argentina. After I did the good World Championships in Osaka in 2001, where I started the competition like 297 in the world ranking, and I finished 173 teams and single together. The competition was the last, I think maybe the last one with all the 4 competitions in the same World Championships. It was very, very long.
Mhm.
Team, singles, doubles, and mixed doubles.
Wow, that was a long tournament.
Like 2 weeks or something, 10 days or something.
Mhm.
But it was, I am very happy to have lived to this moment. At that time, the World Championships was the last tournament of the season. So when we played, it was season is over. So we could relax, come back to Brazil. So that's in 2001 when I came to France. And when I qualified for Athens, I was playing in France.
Okay. And how did you feel? How was your first experience for Athens? Like finally you managed to achieve your dream when you were 11 and seeing the Olympic Games in Barcelona, and then now finally you are there. How did you, especially in Athens, that is actually the country of the Olympics?
Yeah, it was very, very symbolic because of that. I mean, I come to play the games like I remember they used to say the slogan or something on the opening ceremony that the Olympic Games came back home. They had this kind of things. And for me, it was a dream, childhood dream come true. At the same time, the kind of person that I was at that moment, didn't allow me to enjoy very much.
We talked about this before.
Didn't really enjoy because I really was into performance. I didn't have any chance to win the Olympics. I actually became a top 100 player, I think it was after Olympics.
Okay.
But I mean, not right after.
Some months after.
Yeah, some time after.
Hmm?
By the end of this year that I became, like, I remember 87, I entered, it was like in Austrian Open. I just, like, some weeks before I beat Hugh Suming, that was in World Cup, that he was the Olympic champion, like 2 months ago.
I
He
remember
won
that.
Athens, and then I beat him in the World Cup. He was maybe number 2 or 4 in the world. And then after this, I had a good result in Austrian Open, that I won some good matches against players that were in front of me in the world ranking. So I finished Australian Open, was maybe November or December, as 87 in the world ranking, the first time I entered the top 100, which was also very symbolic for me. But
sure.
because of the kind of person that I was at that moment, I didn't enjoy very much my achievements. Because I was in my mindset was that I had to go always for more, and that I should not be satisfied. So I really didn't enjoy the Olympic Games the way I should. I mean, in 2008, when I qualified for the second time, I enjoyed much more the fact that I was there.
Yeah, I agree.
It was 2004. I was happy, but it was almost more relief than happiness.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I can relate to that. Actually, in the first podcast with Marcos, we talked about this. That actually it was the same. Like my first Olympic, like of course, you know that you cannot win, but you just want to do your best, and you only focus on a lot on the performance. And then I felt like the same way. I didn't really enjoy my first Olympic, and actually it's nice that you say this, because I just feel like it's very important for each athlete to actually have this 1 or 2 days of aid to enjoy the fact that you qualified, and to enjoy a little bit the village. And this is the thing that I took in Paris, and that helped me a lot to perform. If you have an advice, would you, and for example, for the future Olympians that are listening to us, like, you would say this, like, try to enjoy this achievement that you made, and don't be too hard on yourself?
Yes, this is one thing. It's actually very sad to say. It's very difficult to face it. But something that I can tell you that, like now, is that as much as I decided to be professional and to put this mindset of performance and to really focus and stuff, all my achievement, it was more like a relief than a pleasure. It's very sad to say, actually. It's really sad to say,
I can relate.
because I paid the price so high to achieve. Again, you put back in the context, when I was a very, okay, you are my friends and you know me well, when I'm not in this environment of table tennis. When we are talking about other things, or when we are like in a more relaxed environment, that is no like competition involved, I'm a very different person than I am when I am focused.
Correct.
When I decided to move from my parents' home to the south of Brazil to dedicate to table tennis, I became a different person in that way. So I was like focused. I've always felt that I should be the one that practice more. I didn't enjoy the things that I used to. I didn't have the adolescence that a normal teenager has.
Correct.
But it's not that okay, it's normal that you don't have this like parties all the time, but I had never. It's not that I was going once in a while, very, very little. I decided to do like never.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very high price. And when the achievements became, I was already thinking about the others. I didn't take time to enjoy what I just achieved.
Yeah.
Very often, when I win a tournament, the next day I was practicing already. If it
Yeah.
was not a long travel, the next day I was in the table already. It was not always easy to be in my skin.
Okay.
It's my fault. Okay, I'm not saying that my
Yeah.
life was I'm not saying that way that my life was difficult, that I suffer. No, I never suffer. My life was fantastic. I had everything always. I have a loving family. I had support. Okay, it was not easy, but make me give some good value. I had to fight for it. Don't get me wrong. But it was, when I say it was not easy to be in my skin, is that I
You always
put
wanted more.
myself in a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And even today, for me, it's very hard to enjoy life, like to really enjoy life, to be 100% in the moment and not thinking what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, makes
So
sense.
do you think in this, when you were very young, maybe the coaches that you were, for example, in Piracicaba, they a little bit show you the way that you need to act and you need to be like parties is not good, this is not good, you need to focus, you need concentration, you need everything, you need to be perfect, you need to practice more. So finally, you think also this was part of why you were kind of like this, was like the only way to achieve these goals? You think it's also this, or you consider that it was only you?
No, I think there is a little bit of everything. I would put the biggest part of the blame on myself.
Yeah.
It's true. But of course, as a kid, you are growing your personality, and you look up to people that are older than you, only to realize after, because now I'm 43, and in some situations, you know that you have no idea either what to.
Yes.
So at that time, maybe the guys that were advising me, they had no idea of what they're doing.
Yeah, true,
The
true.
best for me. And I say this, it's fun, but it's actually true.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like I'm. Sometimes they didn't have any clue of what they were doing.
Yeah, you were
Yeah, for
following.
sure.
They were doing the best. They wanted the best for me, but they also didn't know much. This is true. And they were also learning. This is what I mean. And at that time, the thing was, you have to do more than the others. There was no like
No
doing
choice, yeah.
better than the others, no quality. It was more. It was like almost like mathematics. If you spend more hours than the others, you're gonna be better than the others. This was the mindset.
Okay.
I was talking yesterday or before yesterday, with I'm mixing the languages, with a friend of mine, a physical trainer, because it's a subject that I like to talk a lot about. And I always practice physically. I want to improve still up to this date. But I was talking to him about the quantity of mistakes that I made in my preparation, because I did a lot of things by myself. The first year that I started to dedicate only to table tennis was 99. My morning routine, it was to wake up, run 1 hour, and do 1,000 sit-ups. But I did this every day for 1 year. Okay. And this is already, you don't rest, because you do it every day for 1 year. Every morning from Monday to Saturday, I was running 1 hour and doing 1,000 sit-ups when I wake up. Didn't eat, I just did this.
Run.
And after this, I came home, I took a shower, I eat, and I go to practice. So I started two training sessions. Already I had one, I had I was already tired to start my training, you know? Okay, I was strong mentally, but at which price? If I had practice in a better way with quality, or if I had dedicated maybe this hour to service, because I was also doing 1 hour of service every day, but still would be better, you know?
Yeah, one moment you are tired. If you make everything running and then sit-ups, and then you also have to practice table tennis. Yeah, it's actually very difficult, man.
And table tennis is about speed. So if you are running 1 hour, you cannot run very fast always.
Yeah.
You'll die if you run. So, I mean, it's some mistakes that I did. This is only one of the mistakes. I did many others. And the coaches were saying to me that maybe it's too much, you shouldn't do more. But I didn't listen. It's not always there. Okay, it's also a lot of my fault. But in many other situations, if you one day you wanted to take day off, they would say, yeah, but it's like people say today, practice while they sleep. And then this is beautiful speech. And they would, some of them would tell me this. But when you have a burnout, it's not so beautiful to see, or you have an injury, an operation is not so beautiful to see. So there are some things that are good slogans to sell like running shoes that you don't really need. But yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. So I think, okay, the coaches maybe, or even my family, other things that I spoke with another guy, another friend of mine, not a guy, I was telling that I was really, 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 really scared to disappoint my family. So for me, when I moved from my hometown to south of Brazil to become pro, if I came back home, it's because I was not successful.
Okay.
And I was going to be a failure. And I had to look myself in the mirror the rest of my life to this. So sometimes I was tired, I was dead, I didn't want to play anymore. But I was so afraid of being a failure in life that today my conception of successful life is totally different. But at the time, I was really afraid to disappoint my family and those to support me. So maybe, okay, much of my motivation is because I wanted to be pro, I wanted the Olympics. But nowadays, like I'm 43, 44, I'm sure that my last years as player, let's say, still as a player, are really close, can be any time, even if I practice every day and I still play and I still enjoy to play and I still want to play. I'm starting to make this, to look up to some situations that I lived and making some kind of peace with myself, with the mistakes, with the failures, with the things I did right, with things I did wrong. And I believe there's a lot of this. Okay, the motivation was not always because what you want, but many things that you really didn't want to happen.
Yeah, it seems like you actually put a lot of pressure in yourself as a player, and especially that I can feel that also when I feel like you manage your career alone, and you think that it's that things would have changed if you have someone that was following you. I also want to talk a little bit about financially. Like, I know that in the, I don't know how the situation was in Brazil at that time, if the federation was paying for tournament, if all the investment was by yourself. But it seems like you were a lot alone at that time.
Well, this was definitely I put a lot of pressure in myself, and I lost a lot of the pleasure that I had for the game. That is for sure.
Okay.
I was always before being an athlete, I was a player. The fun part of it, I always like to take risk when it's 9-9. I always try to do different receive. I always try to surprise the other. I always liked this when I was kid. Actually, being kid, I would try some maybe not necessary things, but I love this.
Yeah.
That's what made me come back to play. And then when I started to dedicate myself really much, that became like very heavy. I became
Yeah,
like
I
a
understand.
different person.
I understand.
And financially, I was lucky because, okay, until when I was living in my hometown, at that moment, the tournaments that I used to play were in my region. There was one Brazilian championships once a year. You had to go, and it was okay. When I qualified for South American championships or Latin American championships, as a cadet or junior, the federation would pay, so that was it. And then eventually, when I moved to south of Brazil, I had the full support of the training center, because anyway, my family, we never lack anything. Me and my brother, we always had everything. We always had the best schools. We had a good home and food and everything. We really didn't like. We didn't need anything, like we were okay. But to be traveling in Europe, then we could not afford, or to pay a training center private, we could not afford. So the training center, they took care of me, the coaches and the owners of the training center, and then that's how I could manage to keep going until I came to Europe. I had their support. I would save some money. They would like, was like a sponsoring actually, and the support that they didn't have to do it, but they wanted to do it for like to help me and to also to promote the training center. And then when I came to France, I started to have my salary that I put on my Pro Tour. And once in a while, the federation had some training camp here and there, pay some tournament just before the big competitions. And then I could like support myself a little bit. And I was actually more comfortable with this, that I could pay for my... I have to say that at this moment where the training center took care of me, it was a decisive moment, because if I don't go at this moment, I would lose performance and then it would be too late. So I have to be very great. Not only that I have to be, I am very grateful to them, because that would be the end of my dream if I stayed one more year at my home.
Okay.
But I was also I wanted it to be me also, because I felt that they did already a lot for me. And I would feel more comfortable if I can also put money from myself. Makes me give value to what I was looking for. So
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.